hump day, y'all. I'm doing something a little bit different because and this should show everybody that you have to pivot in your journey. Okay, even if you don't have a plan, even if you don't work out, if you don't have strategy, you still show up no matter what. So today I am actually going to be streaming my live episode of the Mompreneur Method podcast over on my channel. But don't worry, there will be a replay available. But I do have a special guest, so I'm going to formally introduce you. So welcome to episode number 4 of the Mompreneur Method podcast. I'm your host, Sierra Janae. You already know. But I'm so excited because y'all, I have never done this. This is my first time. So I don't know what I'm doing. It's a little unorganized, but y'all know me. I live for that. And so I have a very special guest, someone who means a lot to me, my life coach, Miss Tori. So Tori, I want you to formally introduce yourself, but we're gonna definitely go into some more of Tori's info a little bit later in the episode. But Tori, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. It's an
Yes.
honor to be here.
Yes.
And I'm really happy to be a part of MPM and your podcast. So thank you.
Thank you,
So
Chief.
I am Coach Victoria. I'm a life coach. I'm a mom, a wife, corporate worker, a business owner, all of the things. Okay. And I have been all of those things for many, many years. So I'll keep it brief because we're gonna get into some things
Okay, period. So
later.
as I welcome you onto the podcast officially, we got to do like an icebreaker, something to warm it up, right. So I don't know if you are into those card questions and stuff like icebreakers and stuff. I live
Yeah.
for those. Okay, I mean even though me and you definitely don't need no icebreaker at all, because y'all, me and Tori, when I talk to Tori, I need to probably dedicate my day because it be nothing but vibes because we be talking for hours and it's so amazing. Again, Tori is literally, you are living proof of just why I wanted this community, because I know there's so many amazing women out here that we all can pour into each other. Tori joined my one of my mentorships a while ago, and as much as Tori may have thought she was learning things from me, I have learned so much from her in such a short period of time, and I'm so grateful, and I'm so glad that you hopped on here and wanted to be a part of this. So I want to
Absolutely.
ask, and this is just kind of off the top of the dome, if you were to describe motherhood as a job description, what would be the qualifications?
Tough skin,
Thanks.
high pain tolerance,
Thanks.
a PhD, being a doctor,
Thanks.
mhm. uh, a therapist license,
Thanks.
must be versatile and ready to pivot at any moment. Um, what else would I add? Um, a maid, a cook,
Keep going, Tori.
um, a driver,
Keep going.
all of the things, a coach, um, just all of the things, anything you, all of the things. Because when I say you have to embody everything that you have within you goes into being a mother,
Yes.
especially if you take pride in being a mother. If
Right.
you hold that to high regard, you will sometimes get lost, a lot of times get lost because you have to dedicate, especially in the early years when they're newborn and toddler and they really heavily depend on you. You
Yeah.
really get lost in motherhood sometimes. And it's really important that you really kind of still save time for yourself because baby, you give all that you got.
Yes, you
Like,
do.
literally all. Be
Yeah.
ready to die. Literally.
Facts. Y'all, Tori dropping facts. She dropping the gym. She look, no, seriously. And
Literally.
I couldn't agree more. I definitely want to add in punching bag, at least for me.
Not
I don't
with
know
you.
if your kids look, you ain't got no Tyler at home no more, but still, Aiden, he ain't that far from it. You know what I mean? But seriously, them younger ones, baby, they a different breed. And I really feel like I'm a punching bag sometimes. No, I definitely
In-
couldn't agree more. Girl,
Investigate. Lie detector. You might not have
Child,
that part yet, but baby.
man, man, oh man. With that
Okay,
being said, like, I want to ask you, how do you like? Because I always have to ask, did you want to be a mom? Was that a part of the plan? To kind of take us back to the beginning of your motherhood journey. Hey, y'all, welcome in.
baby. Your girl was a teen mom. I was pregnant at 15, had him when I was 16, got my driver's license, 8 months pregnant at
But you
16.
did it.
Uh, had that sucker, went to school 6 weeks later. And then that same week I started back school, started a corporate job at Sears Telemarketing.
Wow. Wow.
So, I didn't have a chance. I didn't give myself a chance to want
Yeah.
to be a mother. I was still a child myself. And I thank God I had the parents that I had because they were so supportive. Now, I knew that it was against everything that we believed in because I grew up in a Christian home and, we was heavy in the church. So
Yeah.
it was like they praised it, but at the same time, we have to deal with what we have to deal with.
Hmm. Hmm.
My mom was a teen mom. She had me at 16. My grandmother had her first child at 16. So, ooh, baby,
Yeah.
although I did it, I felt like raising my kids was very important to my goal was to break that cycle.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
did it with my
And you
children.
did that. And you did
Did.
that.
I did.
Baby.
So my older two, 28 in August and
Oh,
23 in October. Those are my older two.
yeah.
But back to, the beginning of my motherhood story. So really I grew up in a loving home, but they taught me nothing about sex, nothing about my body, you know, nothing of substance for me to be able to make the right decisions for myself when being pressured into that type of, situation.
Yeah.
And I, was curious just like any other teen would be. And the first time with my child's father, who ended up being my husband, I got pregnant. So I didn't give myself time to want to have children
Okay. Okay.
naturally.
But y'all know me, I'm always gonna tie it back to the business. The fact that like not one time did you say, you know what, it happened, but I made it work and I pivot and I figured it out and I provided for my children. I know for a lot of women, they hear, when they say that, it's almost as such as a depressing type of thing for them. But just the way you even described that, it sounded like, you know what I mean? Like you were like, hey, I did it. You know what I'm saying? It happened, but guess what? I made it work. I figured it out. And again, the point that I want to, and I really want to like really, magnify that is because it's the same way when it comes to our business. We don't know what we're doing in our motherhood journey, y'all. We do not know what we doing. But Tori just said didn't have no kind of advice, nobody to help her, no real structure that told her, hey, this is how you do it. This is the blueprint for you. But yet you're still an amazing mom. You still raised your children and they came out okay. So this is the same thing that we can take this. And this is what I'm always trying to say. Like, if can't nobody represent business better than a goddamn mama, okay? Because
It's
child,
hard. Okay.
we're not given the tools that we need, okay? We just somehow make it work. And you made it work, you know what I mean? And that's like amazing. You know what I mean? And the fact that, definitely touching on them generational curses of like, baby, this ends here. We're not doing that. You know what I mean? You should go out and live your life. You should be able to do things and, because I'm not saying like, oh, go be a teen mom tomorrow. In no way am I saying that. But at the same time, if it happens, your life's not over. It's not, you know what I mean? Like
That's right.
God has a reason and a plan for everybody, you know what I'm saying? And we don't understand it at times, but yet look how, look at your children and I'm sure every day when you look at them and you talk to them, it's like, I did that. I made that happen. You know what I'm saying? So I love that. I love that for you. But as far as like now, since you've been what, 28 years? 28, that's insane to say that. You've been a mama for
He's
28 years.
27. He'll be 28 in August.
Okay, compared to where you started, okay, like think of you, mom, I mean, of course, it's kind of, you were younger, obviously, but like just, and especially because I know this is going to help me, all the women that's watching this as well, too. what have you learned just in, I mean, we're constantly still learning, but like what is probably some of the biggest things that you have learned from like starting Mama Tori to Mama Tori today?
Okay, so my older two kids, they get on me so bad because they be like, "Mom, you ain't get him." Because my talking about my younger son,
Yeah.
because oh, you used to whoop us or you used to be on us like white on right.
Mhm.
You know, one thing I have learned is things are not so serious. When I had them, I was in survival mode.
Yeah.
I literally left my parents' home uh, right after I turned 18. Like literally, like the week I turned 18, I was moving out into my own apartment.
Mhm.
And they were very supportive. They were always supportive, and they, this is your baby. That my parents was like, this your baby. We ain't doing no heavy babysitting. You gotta work and get the pampers and all of that stuff. We'll provide you shelter, clothes, you and the baby, but we ain't, doing
Yeah.
no whatever. And
Yeah.
so I always had a really good work ethic. So when I turned 18, I got me an apartment. I already had a car, brand new car, all that stuff. They
Period.
had that so that I had safe transportation or whatever. But during that time when I moved out, things were so like I gotta be at school, I gotta be at work at school and then go straight to work, then go pick my child up, then go home to get him in the bed. Like so everything was so regimented. I had little space to be like a gentle parent
Mhm.
these days.
Right.
We had to be on that schedule because
Yeah.
from the time I had him when I was 16, the how my day went
Mhm.
in the morning, take him to daycare. I go to school. Then after school, I go to work, straight to work. Don't get
Mhm.
off till 9 o'clock at night. Then go get my baby come home to my baby, and then we go to sleep. Start over the next day. Same thing every day of from the time I had him until the time I graduated high school. And it was kind of the same when I went to college after high school. I went to the community college first before
Yeah.
I went to a 4 year college. But yes, like it was so regiment. So now that I'm in my 40s and I had my youngest son when I was 33,
Mhm.
I'm tired.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know, give him what he wants so he can shut up. That's
Yeah.
what so I'm like a lot more lenient, not
Mhm.
in that type of way, like, you know,
Yeah, for
but
sure.
because he's definitely spoiled
Yeah.
for sure. But, in the end, because I took my time, like I literally planned him, we had to get my tubes
Oh.
tied to have him.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was like, there's no way that I'm going to do the same thing that I did in my earlier years to where I had to miss all the milestones because I had
Right.
school and it was just so regimented. I'm going to be home with this
Yeah.
one. I'm
Okay.
to experience everything with this one because this is the last one.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Period.
even though there's a big gap because it's 17 years between my oldest and my youngest, and then 12 years between the middle child and the youngest.
Yeah.
So I knew that was gonna be it. So that is why I'm probably the gentle parent now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the biggest difference, and that's the biggest thing that I've learned, that I didn't have to be that mother that was the huge disciplinary if things got out of line or if something got spilled. Like I was so uptight because I was like, I gotta do everything right as a mother because it's
That
all
first.
me. And at some point I became a single mother because I divorced my older two's dad. We got married when I was 18. It was a horrible marriage, horrible, horrible. So that was also something else I had to deal with. Then became a single mother. So it was like everything was so serious for me then that
Yeah.
yeah. So and
It's like
then
I
now
can relax.
right. So
Yeah.
I don't have to be that way because my husband, my current husband, who I've been married to for 15 years now,
Period.
amazing and is such a supportive partner that go ask your daddy.
Facts. Cause
If you ask your daddy, go ask your daddy to help you. Like I didn't
yeah.
that before, even when I was married. You know,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
my so to the first one. So yeah, that would be the biggest difference for me.
Did you say? Would you say? Because I feel like I think I hear this so much, and I just want to ask your opinion. Would you say you've kind of even experienced? Do you ever feel like you experience guilt? I know you kind of sort of touched on it, but not really as far as like you know how your money different, you know, from versus how it was with the first one, and just like one, you don't really know what you're doing, you know. And I know with both of you, you're older too, with them being kind of you know obviously closer in age, it's kind of like one, I don't know what I'm doing. I didn't receive that manual. I didn't get that instructional piece, but like. I say that all the time, and sometimes I catch myself like being very apologetic to my son because I'm like, I promise you, like, I just didn't know what I'm doing. It's not that deep now, you know what I mean? But I'm like, do the kids feel that sometimes? You know, like, well, then, like you mentioned, you know, kind of like, oh, well, we would have never gotten away with that. But no, you definitely had your moments when you was younger. Don't say it like that. But would you say you kind of experience a little guilt now that you obviously are in a better place mentally, spiritually, in you know a different type of relationship versus you know what you were within your kids? Not saying like taking anything away from your motherhood journey, but you know what I mean. Like just like man, baby, life was a little rough. But this life, we living our best life now, and I'm like, my little one, she's you know getting all of that.
So I've only felt guilt about one thing, and I'll start with the fact that my older child, not my middle child, but my oldest child, he experienced me and their father go through audible.
hmm
I was
Yeah. Oh, girl, you know, I
that's
look,
what I was
you fine, girl. I'm doing good. Nah.
he experienced. Yeah, I don't want you me to cause you to jump off the bandwagon. Um,
Because I'll be
so
like that.
he experienced the abuse, the the fighting, the arguing constantly. He experienced all of those things, and that is the thing that I have guilt about, and I regret
Mm,
saying
yeah.
because he was impacted so much, and
Yeah.
so that is the only thing that I feel guilt or regret about, to the point where he was like 7 years old and he told me, um, Mom, I want you to find somebody else besides my daddy because I want you to be happy.
At 7.
That's it.
Yeah.
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 So I that's the only thing that I've ever felt guilty about because baby, even though I was young, even though it was paycheck to paycheck most of the
Yeah.
time,
Made it work.
we did vacations, we did day trips. I made sure, like, even if it was something like the state fair coming, we always made that a big deal. I would drive up to Raleigh. I'm in North Carolina. I would
Yeah.
drive them up to Raleigh, get a hotel room. We would do the state fair, just us, me and them,
Yeah.
make that a whole weekend trip. And we would just drive. I would take them different places, and it was just it was always something I was trying to find for them to do because I did not what they didn't know we was poor.
Right. Exactly.
They didn't because I asked them because I always felt like they knew, but I asked them when they got to adulthood, and they was like, no, like because I asked them how they felt their childhood went.
Yeah.
Oh, we used to have some. They brought up all the memories of the things that we
Oh.
do.
Yeah.
So they thought we was loaded because we was going on vacations. They
Period.
you know, but
Yeah.
I was taking that tax money I was getting and making sure I did at least a trip with it with them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Y-
Facts. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Cause the kids, they really don't be caring. Cause I know when I was growing up, baby, and we was poor, baby, the lights was off. But let me tell you something, my mama, she tried the little moments that, you know, I did
Mhm,
experience with her. She made it fun, baby. We was playing hide and seek in the dark all
mhm.
day.
Yep.
In the dark, you know. So yeah, and that's the one a good thing about you know just moms and amazing. Like I mean, I know it's biased to say being a mom and stuff, but it's just like that is our superpower. You know what I mean? That love and that energy that we give, you know, our children. You know, they feel that it's not always about materialistic things. It's not always about you. Be like I was. It's funny. I was actually talking to my son kind of about this. You know, he cares more about the time than any kind of you know gadget or whatever, like you spending time with me. I just, you know, you actually caring about what I have going on or my thoughts or opinions and things like that has outweighed so, you know, so much more. Cause I'm not gonna lie, I thought starting in my motherhood journey that it was about those type of things because I didn't have it growing up. So I immediately try to shower, my son in this, and he kind of like gave me a reality check and was like, "Bitch, I need you to spend time with me. Fuck them toys." You know what I'm saying? So,
Because
yeah, yeah,
toys and go play with a box. They'll play with them toys for
girl,
15, 20 minutes, maybe a day, and then go play with a box or some sticks or some shit like that and be fine. And
yeah,
we done spent $200 on this and you just kicked it to the side.
wasting all my money playing
Yeah.
with the box, playing with the box.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Well, look, so just shifting gears just a little bit. So tell me, like, where, like, in your motherhood journey, because I feel like as a mom, it's already like I feel like when I see them posts all the time where they be saying stay at home moms don't do nothing, it ain't no work, it ain't no job. I'm like, baby, that it's a job. And like I be telling my husband all the time, baby, if I didn't do nothing and I just had to be a mom, I said this house would be immaculate.
Mhm.
You baby, a home cooked meal would be I would cook for y'all every day. But being a mom full time, trying to homeschool kid, like so with doing that, I'm not gonna lie. When I started my business, when I start, really got my feet wet in this, I didn't think about nothing. I didn't think about necessarily me or, oh, I'm not gonna have a life or, I'm not gonna, I'm gonna be so tired of doing this. The first thing that I literally thought about was motherhood. I'm like, man, like I barely already be feeling guilty if I don't get to spend as much time as I want to spend with them now. How am I gonna, start this business? So what was that moment for you? What was that like pivot for you? And you're like, hey, you know what? I want to get into entrepreneurship. And I'm gonna make this work. And tell us a little bit about what you do. I know there's kind of like a three in one, but
Okay, do you want me to start from my first entrepreneurship
yeah.
journey? Oh, oh, okay.
Share with us, yeah.
Okay. So my first journey with entrepreneurship was I was probably about 22 and I had went to nail school to do nails.
Mhm,
And I graduated from nail school. I did that for a little bit, but I realized I was allergic to the acrylic filings
mhm.
because it would tear my eyes up.
Yeah, it
So I
would.
couldn't do that for long. So it was some years that went past before I tried to do anything else. And honestly, it's so crazy because I always back in the day felt like, oh, I wouldn't consider myself as a creative person like that. But then as I got older, I started to see that I do have a gift for being a creative. But years later, after that, I wrote a children's book and published it. And it was after my mom passed away because I wanted to do it. And it was based on my son and me being pregnant with my daughter. So it was I don't know what you would call it, a labor of love. And the book really was a I'll say a passion project after my mom passed away. Are you there, Sierra? Hopefully she'll come back, guys. I don't know if you can see me or not, but I'm gonna wait for her to come back before I continue on. Let me see if I can see y'all in the comments. Can y'all see Sierra? Oh,
I'm
there you
like,
go.
I'm
Oh,
like, I don't know what happened. I'm like, oh, I was panicking. I'm so sorry, y'all. I said,
I
what the?
yeah,
Go
I don't
ahead.
know.
Was you
Yeah,
still talking though, at least?
I was
Okay, okay, that's fine. As long as you still talking, girl.
like just like 30 seconds to a minute ago.
Okay, okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. My bad. Keep going, Tori.
Did you what was the last thing you heard me say?
You were just starting.
Oh, okay,
So that's
okay.
why I'm like, it cut off and I was like, what happened? I was panicking.
Okay. So, what I was saying was that after it probably was some years after I went to nail school, I didn't do anything else as far as my entrepreneurship journey. And then some years later, I was pregnant with my daughter.
Okay.
No, I my mom passed away, and
Mhm.
I felt the need to do a passion project. Like I really was just like, I want to write a book.
Yeah.
And so I wrote a children's book, and it was based on my son and me being pregnant with my daughter. And it's called I Love My Sister, I think.
Oh.
And this is it right here.
Oh. It's
And
the period.
and it really was like I found an illustrator and everything. Like now this was back in 2010. So I'm
Uh-huh.
doing KDP and all, all of that back then when like I had never heard of it. But
Yeah.
did some research and was just like, I'm finna do this book. I'm finna do a book. I had the idea. I wanted to do it and I did it.
Yeah.
So I found the illustrator, and granted, it's it wouldn't be something that I would be like, okay, well, I'm gonna put that out now. But I was proud of it. It's still it sold, and then I also went. I was on the news, my local news station, promoting it in my hometown because
Yeah.
I went to my hometown to promote it, and then I went to the libraries and read it to the kids, and
Oh
like
my
it was
goodness.
that was really something that I wanted to do because I wanted to start the conversation of decision making with
Hmm.
but basically the book is about this little boy, which is my son, my oldest son.
Yeah.
He was so excited when he found out I was pregnant, and then the whole time I was pregnant, he was really excited. But then when the baby came, he was just like, "Okay, I think I love her, but she's taking away all my time. So I don't
Hmm.
know if I love her or not." So that's
Yeah.
what the book was about. And then so that was my second run with entrepreneurship. And then after that, I went into, that was some years passed by, and then I went into selling scarves. Like when I say I have tried some of everything, I have tried some of everything. Okay. I had found a vendor to buy my scarves from in New York, like scarves to wear around your neck. And, some of them you could make head scarves, but mostly it was the infinity scarves and the regular winter scarves, and I was selling those. And I was working at Bank of America, honey. They was eating it up. The corporate girlies love the scarves, honey. And so then some more I stopped doing that, and then some years later I realized I could sew. And so I started making my own scarves, but I was like, I don't want to do that. I want to make head wraps. So I started making hair wraps and bonnets and stuff like that, and I started selling those online. And so that's when I really realized, in handbags, I was making like the really huge boho handbags as well. And so I really tried a lot of different things, and I was just like, that's who I am as a person, because I anything that I want to do, I want to try it to see if it's something that even if I only try it for a little bit, I want to just see how I feel about it and go from there. And so getting to where I am now, I was pregnant with my son, and that was 2014. I had listened to, I can't even remember who it was I was listening to, but they
Hmm.
would talk about your passions. And I was like, I don't even have no passion. I don't know what that would be for me. And so
Yeah.
the thing that clicked for me was when they said the thing that you would do if you would roll up, if somebody called you at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and you would happily roll over and answer the phone and do that thing,
I
what would
love
that
that.
be for you?
Mm.
And when it went off like ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
I am that person to everybody that I know, my family members, my friends, everyone will come to me for advice. Everyone will come to me for support. And that's me. So I was like, oh, I could be a therapist. And then I was like, well, I don't have time. I don't have the money to go to school like that. And so then
Hmm.
I was like seeing all of these advertisements about life coaching. And
Mm.
then it wasn't really like a huge thing.
Hmm.
I was like, okay, I could do that. And so I
Yeah.
found a class. and it was like Orange County Life Coach Institute. They have
Mhm.
changed the name now, but they're still in business. But um, and I found one in Raleigh, and so I was like, I'm going to that. And I sure enough, I went and it was so what I needed. It was
Yeah.
so, I was like, this is it right here. And this is what I want to do. But
Mhm.
the thing is that I didn't know how to market. I didn't know how to sell. I didn't know how to put myself out there. So I did the best that I could. I started a Facebook group. That thing's still up. It's like the Facebook group. I was, posting on Facebook and on Instagram, and I was doing the best that I could, but I didn't have any experience in it. So I was creating content, but I was just doing stuff blindly.
Yeah.
So I did that for probably about from 2014 to 2018
Mhm.
to 2018. And I was like, you know what? I'm it's just not sustainable for me
Mhm.
at this point. So I'm gonna kind of let that go. And I stopped. I had a podcast. I literally have over 60 episodes
Crazy.
from that. Like, so
Crazy.
I was doing the things, but
Yeah.
I didn't know how to, again, market myself and put the I was putting the stuff out there because literally I just found all of those episodes again.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, I did all of this. Like, it was just a great reminder that, even though it didn't work the way that I wanted it to work at that time, it was
Mhm. Mhm.
that, girl, you was doing the thing.
And
You
you were
was
showing up, and you were showing up,
doing
importantly. And you didn't even it wasn't nothing to you. You know what I mean? And that's where we be forgetting. You was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna let it go." Baby, I done did this many. That's insane.
Yes.
That's
So I was
crazy.
really, really proud of myself.
Mhm.
Like I said, it didn't go exactly how I wanted it to go when I first launched and I was first dipping my toes into that
Yeah.
being a life coach. I really, really was excited and really proud of myself when I found that information.
Yeah.
So,
And y'all,
that.
let me just say, Tori, and I'm not just saying this to be biased or nothing, because baby, one thing about it, I'll tell you the truth. Okay. Tori is an amazing life coach. If y'all look, we're gonna talk about that a little bit later, but I gotta say it now, Tori. I'm gonna let you plug your stuff later. But I have to say how amazing she is, and like just your community and what you're doing, and you giving us a platform, you know what I mean? It's just amazing, just and I really want you to touch on it as a life coach. You're the expert, not me. But just in the Black community, like Tori has made me feel comfortable, like making me like, hey, therapy, you need to talk to people, you need to talk about your feelings and things, because mental health is it's a real thing, and it can play into so much into our lives and into our motherhood journey, into our businesses. And you really need to get somebody and talk to. Again, I wasn't the pro therapy. I do like the life coach method kind of more so, but even then, and Tori kind of had to explain this to me. Now, look, I'm not here to, what I'm saying, take it all the way back to 1991 when you was born, but I'm here to help you and guide you on your journey, and to let you know, like, first of all, like, you make me feel like it's not that deep. Calm down. It's not that serious. And again, I'm just so grateful for you and just life coaches in general. What y'all do, like, it's a lot. Like, I mentor and coach people, and I be feeling like I'm a damn therapist. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like,
Yeah.
I ain't signed up for that. That wasn't what I was trying to do. I'm just trying to help you with your strategy. But to get into the mental side and the spiritual side of it, like, you have to be a strong individual. And so, like, with you, like, how has that been for you? Like, being that coach and everything like that.
Um,
Hey
at
y'all.
first, it was very, I'm not going to say difficult, but I realized something about myself or learned something about myself, which is that I'm an empath. And so I very easily, especially early on, I would very easily take on other people's things.
Mhm.
And then
Mhm.
it would weigh me down. And then
Mhm.
I realized over the years that I had to regulate myself and then ask myself, is this mine or is
Mhm.
somebody else's?
Yeah.
Because need to, if it's not mine, I need to let it go. But you do have to check yourself sometimes when you're in this industry. And also, therapists have therapists, life coaches have
True.
life,
You're
and
absolutely right.
therapists sometimes. So, you have to be prepared for that, because it
Mhm.
can be, um, because a lot of times, I don't know if you've heard of trauma dumping,
Yes,
but that's essentially what it is. When you
it
take
is.
a client, and you have several clients, they're dumping their trauma onto you,
Mhm.
and you're helping them, giving them tools to navigate through it so they can move forward and be productive as adults, or whatever their goal might be,
Yeah,
in moving forward to be successful. And like you said, Sierra, life coaches do not dive into what happened to you and try to fix you from that standpoint, or try to, you know, cover your healing from that standpoint from the past. We focus solely on, something we might hear a life coach say is, I'm sorry that happened to you, but what is it that you would like
yeah.
to what is your goal moving forward? Like, we
Mhm.
want to focus on the future and what you want your life to look like, and the person that you want to be going forward, moving forward.
Yeah,
And so we would give you, based on what you're going through and what your needs are, after being assessed, then we would come up with a plan, give you the tools that you need in order to move forward, and, be there for you to help you realize what you need to move forward.
yeah, yeah. And
Mhm,
I love the fact that like y'all, when I met Tori, it's so funny. Again, like I fell into mentorship, I kind of fell into coaching,
mhm.
because I just was like, I just want to help women. I never really considered myself like to the point where y'all still to this day it's very uncomfortable for me to say students and this and that. But my mentor and my coach, they be like, you need to say that because they essentially are. And I'm like, baby, I was just trying to help these women put them on. But one thing that I love about Tori is baby, Tori, I would be helping her, y'all, with her strategy and marketing. We talking about this, and then Tori would be like, Sierra, you have too much on your you need to, and I'm like so she like y'all, she just kind of like be, and it's a natural thing, and that's one thing that I love about you. It was never like, you know what I mean, like an awkward or uncomfortable thing. Tori was like, look, so what you about to do, because this you giving away too much free information, you doing this, you doing that. And I'm like, but I'm supposed to, and Tori has really helped me establish boundaries. It's something that I'm definitely still working on. I just am naturally an impact. I feel like I am too, and just an over delivering type of person. But you definitely have to learn how to set boundaries in your
Mhm.
business, in your motherhood journey, and everything that we're doing. Right? I struggle with that, and that is probably my biggest thing. And so that's why I have been working with Tori, and why Tori has been so helpful. We actually even did an episode on her channel, so y'all make sure y'all check it out. It comes out Sunday at what time, Tori?
Sunday
Sunday,
at 6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Mhm,
Okay,
mhm.
yeah. So I'm gonna be sure I'm gonna link everything. This episode, y'all, is gonna be over on the Mompreneur Method podcast. So I was just streaming it on here, but I'm excited for y'all because when I say Tori broke me down, I did good though. I
You did.
ain't I ain't cried that much, but I cried a little bit. I cried a little bit.
Too. So before, when I first started life coaching back in 2014, my focus was solely relationships.
Mhm.
Now that I've gotten back into life coaching, I do focus on relationships, but also my main focus is motherless daughters, support for motherless daughters, as well as supporting women who have identity shifts. Like, say, for instance, if you become a mom and you just lose yourself in motherhood, and you're trying to really figure that out and try to figure out who you are again. I specialize in that, as well as still relationships. But those are my main focuses. And so, my podcast that Sierra was on this week, that will be coming out on Sunday, is solely, we're holding space for motherless daughters in this season here. Next season, we'll be holding space for women who were in toxic relationships.
Yes, yes. Let me read because y'all know I'm terrible at reading the comments. Sunday, hey Sunday. She said, yes, trauma dumping can be draining and exhausting for some friends. Better to talk to a therapist. Yes, definitely, definitely. And we all have to consider that, in this, and that's why again, I created MPM especially for us moms, because no matter what we're all doing, we all need a space. And like, it's just something about being a mom. Like, my husband, I say all the time, is the most supportive person, overly supportive. But I'm like, baby, you just don't get it. You just still don't get it. Tori, you kind of mentioned, like, how, and we've talked about this privately and everything like that. But like, just you being a life coach, and and I love what you said earlier, like that. Wait, I never thought about it like that. Like, waking up in the middle of the night, what question was you in? That's a good way to like reference it. But y'all, like, as I'm helping Tori with her at the time when I was helping her with her strategy, we were focused on digital products, trying to resell digital products. And like, and I want you to share this story. I want you to feel comfortable. I've shared it on my live before, but I want y'all to hear it from her. You know, we was working at it. We was working at it. Tori showing up consistent, everything. But what was that shift for you, Tori? And like, what got you to that place to get you back to where you're supposed to be?
Okay. So I want to give before I get into that, I want to give everyone something that I think is important regarding the trauma dumping, because you read that comment.
Yeah.
If you have a loved one or a friend or someone who you confide in with your issues or what you might be going through, before you start to just dump on that person, it is very courteous to ask, do you have the capacity today?
Bad.
Because I'm going through and I just want to talk to you about some things, because sometimes you have to check in with people because you don't know what they have been through that day or that week, and they may not have the capacity to hold your stuff, to take your stuff in too, on top of their things as well.
Yeah.
So that's a good practice to practice, is being courteous and asking, do you have the capacity? Because you know I want to make sure that I'm not just adding to what you got going on.
Yeah.
But
Thank
anyway,
you.
so I, because I'm always out for a business, or trying
Mhm.
to do a side hustle or something that's going to replace some income or whatever. I'm
Yeah.
always down for it. So I ran into this digital product because I honestly, for a long time, I've been interested in digital products.
Hmm.
I Back in 2018 was the first time that I really kind of um, got interested. I was like trying to make my own journals and all of those things, and I was like, shoot, I really want to do this, but let me see if I can make it. So I was trying to make my own journals and all these things, and I was like, well, this didn't turn out how I wanted to, so I kind of put it to the side. But I did do something else. I wrote another, didn't write another book, but I did an affirmation book.
We love affirmations over here. Yes.
So this
Yes.
is a little affirmation book that has affirmations in it, and it was something that I did publish again, and so that was really my, honestly, my children's book was the digital product too, because it was being sold on.
Yeah.
So have always really been interested in that space.
Yeah.
But around that time, I was looking more so to like sell journals and well, make them and then try to sell them like
Yeah.
on Etsy or something like that. And so that somebody could use it on their tablet and all those things. But I didn't like the design of it. So I kind of put that to the side. So years pass by, and then come to, I think it was January of this year,
Hmm.
and I found a digital course. And I was like, oh my gosh, like this is amazing. I got it for the low, and it was like a whole bunch of stuff in it. And I was like, oh my God, like I really kind of stumbled upon, so I was really excited about it. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
So I started with it, and then started seeing Sierra on YouTube.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, I really vibe with her. I like her
Yeah.
style.
We here. We
Really?
here. We
Yeah,
here.
like I really, from the first time I watched her, I was just like, oh, I like her. So I went back all the way back on her stuff, kind of
Yeah.
binge watched or whatever. And then I was like, oh, then that's when, not long after that, you launched your mentorship.
Mom's method. Yep.
Yes, Mom's Method.
Mhm.
And I was just like, I'm gonna get into it. I'm gonna join that. So I joined and I was like, okay, okay. So
Yeah.
and so I was really, really into it. And I was really excited and really enjoying everything. And I'm showing up on social media and
Mhm.
revamping pages because one thing about me, honey, I'm gonna have me a few Instagram pages and a few with followers that's just sitting there,
Yeah. Yeah.
like not the little bit of followers either, like So
A good amount of way too many. But we ain't gonna get into that. We ain't gonna get into
I,
that.
I was like, man, I'm gonna just start a new one, So I started a new one. Then talked to Sierra, and she's like, girl, you better
Had
use.
all these followers, y'all. Talking about I need to just start from scratch. I just need to girl, if you don't use what you have and make this work, like y'all, people buy into people. They don't. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like if you go to a cooking channel and you're always expecting cooking, yeah, they might be a little confused if you start talking about dolphins and Christmas trees, right? But what you were doing and stuff like that, and your personality, and how you show up online, you're magnetic, and that's why I was like, girl, like just we gonna pivot, as long as you communicate that message. But go ahead, swear I don't mean to cut you out.
Oh no, you good. You good.
Okay.
And that's one thing I'm still working on. I'm working on being able to show up as me, authentically me online because
Yeah.
I feel like, and I'm getting closer. I'm getting closer because I feel like for other people, I could show up and be me. Like this is truly who I am, who you
Yeah.
see right now. But when I get in front of the camera to create content for myself, or if I go live for myself, it's like I've been code switching for so long in corporate, turning on that corporate voice that it's like I can't really get out of turning it on when I'm trying to do business for myself. And
Mhm.
I really, really don't like it, but I'm almost there. I'm
Yeah.
almost there. But anyway, so I get into, I'm real, I'm doing my mentorship and I'm getting into it. I'm like, oh my God, like I didn't have this before to be able to know how to market myself and to know how to, do all the things that I needed to learn how to do until, I got into this course, until I had Sierra as a mentor. And so I'm just really excited. Everything's going well. I figured out my flow, how I did my videos, and like I was just really in the groove, right?
Mhm. Mhm.
Child, then Sierra started telling me, girl, when she found out that I was a life coach before and I had told her about some other things that I had been doing, she was like, girl, you out here pushing this for somebody
Somebody else's shit.
and you got stuff that you like. And I slept on that thing and it really, like, I was up. I was really up that night. You told me a couple of different times, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna see this thing through
Yeah.
because I'm one of them impulsive people where like I like to, if I want to do it, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
I find a way
Mhm.
to do it. There is a way. If you
Yeah.
want to do it, you can do it.
Mhm.
And so I was like, no, I'm gonna stick this through. I'm gonna, sell this digital courses, whatever. And that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Girl, it was almost like God was like, and you ain't gonna make no money.
And the thing about it is,
You ain't gonna
can
make no money.
look, and let me stop you a little bit because that is the part where even I struggle with it as a coach where I still because when we would have our conversation, I'm like, well, Tori, you need to be doing this. But again, it's kind of like, oh, I've invested my money in this. I want to at least, make it worth my while at that point. But it's just like I run into that so much. And again, like, don't get me wrong, y'all. I talk about it all the time. Digital products changed my life for me. Do you get what I'm saying? But
Mhm,
some people like Tori, and again, I'm not lowering myself, have bigger purposes and are supposed to be helping people. And you are the product.
mhm,
The done for you route is just a done for you route. That's great. But you are and that was the thing. And it was so I'm not gonna lie, like challenging because it's like as I'm talking to you, you're passionate. You're like, no, I'm gonna do this and I'm like, yeah, your content's amazing. You're great. But again, what God has for us, it be meant for us. And we'll be trying, doing everything what we supposed to do. It's funny. I was just talking about this on live the other day. Showing up every day. Tori was showing up consistently. You know what I'm saying? She didn't get on live as much as I would like her to, but still, like as
I
far as the
I
business.
I had started doing
the live towards
yeah,
the end. Remember, like kind of towards
yeah,
the end, and then that was
yeah,
yeah. But
yeah.
I remember saying, I was like, well, Tori, you need to be like, why would you? And you didn't even share with me at the time that you had did all those episodes because I would have really been on your head then. I would have really been like, girl, what are we doing here? What are we doing?
But it
So
was just me trying to be, because I kind of had this thing where I pick stuff up and I put it down. I pick stuff up and put it down.
yeah,
Because, again, if I want to do something, I'll do it until I don't want to do it no more. That's just the type of person I am, because I want to live my life to the fullest. I've always been that type of person. So I want to experience different things. So
right,
I don't mind it. I'm
yeah,
not a person that be like, oh, I gotta stick to this one thing right here, that type of person. So I was really in this thing where I was like, I'm going to do this and I'm going to stick with it. I had told myself that I'm going to stick with it, and I'm going to see it through for the long haul. And
yeah,
so why I was really being hard headed, but God was like, nope, because you ain't going to make nothing. You ain't going to
man,
make nothing. And you can keep showing up. People can like your stuff. Girl, when I say I had the most leads, but it was like after I would respond to them, nobody would say anything back to me.
yeah.
Then that last time you had told me, I stayed up. I stayed up literally all night, and I was like, okay, God, I hear you.
Right.
And I was like, you know what? I have my own thing. I'm gonna go back to this because this is what I'm really passionate about. And I really found a space that I I felt like there is no space or support for motherless daughters. And so I was like, this is where I want to re enter at. I'll still be focused on relationships as well, but I really want to hold space for motherless daughters, because I am a motherless daughter myself. I lost my mom in 2010. And so that's when I was like, you know what? I'm going to have my own. I'm going to, because I'm already working on my own video series with the workbooks, and I
Mhm.
am also launching.
We can't wait. We can't wait. We
I'm
waiting.
also launching um, support groups that will be between 6 and 8 weeks for motherless daughters. Um, oh,
Oh no no no.
girl, yeah. So y'all, I got my little setup right here.
Okay. Period.
My son coming by, jumping up and shit, knocking my stuff down.
Girl, these kids. You see, I was struggling early. You see, I was struggling
You
early.
know what was happening? Sit your behind down somewhere, boy.
Yeah, y'all know we mamas, so
Yeah,
it be like that. Y'all see, I was struggling with Silo earlier, so go ahead, Tori.
I was like, wait, what is happening? But anyway, so yeah, so I have my digital products that are coming out. So that was one thing I was like, you know what? I am focused on somebody else's thing, and I don't have to be. I don't
Yeah,
have to be focused on somebody else's something and selling, going hard for somebody else's thing when I already had my own thing.
yeah, yeah.
So, you
and
know,
that is so important that you said that because again like people get into and they you kind of see the hype and I don't know if that's how you feel but you kind of see this hype of is happening for so many people
mhm,
but and that's why I try to be the biggest believer whether it's my program if I'm talking about DWA this is a stepping stone okay you always put you first okay
mhm.
you always need to push you need to be the forefront and I'm just glad and I share this with you that you realize that as such a you know what I mean because it could have been 6 months of doing the same thing or 7 months of doing the same thing. But luckily, and for a lot of us, I'm telling y'all, sometimes it's just God. Okay, you lead me. Okay, this is what I
We
wanted to do.
we have to, and we have to get into and it wasn't taken lightly, and it didn't come lightly or easily either, because there was definitely a lot of resistance
Yeah,
um, from me on my part, because I'm like, no, but they making thousands of dollars over here doing this, so I'm about to be doing that too.
yeah, yeah,
'Cause that is the appeal,
for
with digital
sure.
and selling digital products. So, you really have to know when it's something that is for you at that time, because if you don't, you will I ain't gonna say waste your time, but you will spin your wheels, and it won't work necessarily how it's working for everybody else. Because if you are called to do something else, if God has something else for you to do in that
Yeah.
particular season,
Mm-hmm.
then that's what you're gonna be doing, or you're gonna be brought to your knees.
Girl.
Because if not, then you just again you're gonna be still spinning your wheels. So it's important sometimes to reevaluate what's going on in your world, like, and not be so like tunnel vision that you
Yeah.
can't see that this is happening. Um,
Yes.
and when you do realize it, you have to really take inventory to see what it is that God is trying to tell you. Because I wasn't trying to listen.
Yeah.
I was like, I tried that, but then when I spoke to my husband about it, he said something that really solidified it for me and just stamped it. He said, "Okay, so um, all the digital products that you purchase and your mentorship and all of those things, have you learned anything that would aid you in being better than you were when the first time you were a life coach?"
Yeah.
I was like, that's when it clicked for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because I realized, oh my God, like I didn't have the marketing, I didn't have the sales skills, I didn't have any of those skills that I
Mm-hmm.
learned from the digital course and that I learned from you. Like I didn't have any of that. And so now that I have those skills, that's what I went through it for.
Jesus.
Came back
You
to
better
being
preach,
a life coach.
baby.
I could reach my people and I could be, more effective and help more people.
Yeah.
So that is like literally it, everything came to me and everything started
And
clicking.
everything falling in. Remember how you said
Yeah,
everything started falling into
everything
place when you,
fall into place.
man. Baby, Jesus is real. I be trying to tell y'all. I be trying to tell you. And with that being said, Tori, that kind of always make because at that point we were talking, and this was
Mhm.
before MPM had launched, y'all. And for anybody that's new here, if you don't know what MPM is, MPM is a step by step program, video instruction community for moms. If you are a mom who is business minded, if you are a mom who needs help with self confidence, mindset, want to learn about marketing, want to learn about branding, once you get into digital products and you're like, hey, I have no idea, but I just want to learn how to start creating passive income, this is a great beginner program for you. And like I said, it's a community for moms, of supported moms. But when I launched it, I was kind of like, you know I was pretty much prepared, like, okay, because you were making that pivot. I was like, okay, well, Tori just, she's probably not gonna get NPM, which is fine, but you end up deciding to get the program anyway. So I really would love for you to share like what you have been able to take from the program since starting, and and if it has been beneficial for you.
Yes, absolutely. So in getting and I anyway, regardless of whether I was going to use the program or not, I was
Yeah.
gonna come anyway
Ah,
because
well, thank
I
you, sis.
support my girl, honey.
Yeah. But look,
And
I don't want this to be biased or nothing, okay? Like your
well,
honest opinion.
right, no, no,
Okay.
absolutely not. It's
Okay.
not because I've been in there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've been going through the module. So really honestly, what has helped me the most in NPM is the sell it mama
Hmm.
and the marketing mama.
Hmm.
Because again, when I was going through that trying to be hard-headed phase of whether I should continue to do sell the digital product course that I had gotten, or
Yeah.
to go back to doing my own thing, those sales skills,
Hmm.
oh my God. And then like to get how to present, not present, but gosh, y'all,
Like,
I'm in perimenopause. I got brain fog like a mother. So I forget what I be saying mid sentence. Okay, so
yeah, me too. Well, I be having that too. Well, I ain't menopausal yet, but
girl,
maybe I am.
there's mommy brain.
Yeah.
Have brain fog too. For you, honey, you'll recover a lot of times for years. After you have a child. No, it's real. It's
Girl, it might be that thing because I be for me, I forget missing. But do you mean like showing up online, like how to show up online? Is that what you mean? What you mean?
uh it's basically how you showing up online, but how you basically your online presence. I guess it's the same thing,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Um, so I didn't realize also that it matters, and you have to be consistent in what you're doing instead of being like kind of all over the place.
Yeah.
Because I am a person who likes to do a lot of different things, I will have a whole bunch of stuff on my social media page,
Yeah.
and like, so it really helped me out in the sales module, as well as the marketed mama module,
Yeah.
well, to know that no, this is how you need to show up online. This is how you sell in your stories. This is how you all of those things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those were the two most influential modules for me. Now I haven't gone through all of them, but
Yeah.
because it's a lot. You got a
Yeah.
lot of modules open now, even though you have more to come, and I'm
Oh,
ready.
so much more.
But
Yeah.
those were the two that really impacted me
Yeah.
most.
And with you, and one thing, if y'all didn't know, MPM is a resellable option, so it's a licensed resale program. So when you get it, you can turn around and resell it. The price is $277, but it's not just for that. So like with you, Tori, you're not taking the route to use this and resell it. You're using it for your personal development. So if you could, like, if you were to sell it, what would be kind of the, I guess, big thing to you? Or I know you just said that the modules that you enjoy and what are helping you, but if you were telling a mom about this program, what would be kind of like the main thing or one of the bigger things that you would want to share with her and why she should join?
The number one thing would be that it definitely shows you that regardless of how busy you might be being a mom, you can do this.
Yes.
Also, the way that you don't it's no fluff. You get to the point. The way
Yeah.
that get to the point, it's easy to go in there and learn what you need to learn. Get in there. You can like listen to it like a podcast or whatever,
Yeah.
and while you're still doing what you need to do for your children. Though that is what is the number one thing for me,
Yeah.
because I listen to it while I'm walking, or while anything that you're doing, you can listen to it. Now, granted, if you have the time to sit there and look at the slides and
Yeah. You can.
but you don't have to if you don't have that time. And again, the fluff, because it's a lot of programs out there or courses out there that have a lot of fluff in it, and it's not really getting straight to the point.
Yeah.
So if you don't have the time to, dedicate to learning something new like you really want to, this would be for you for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you
Thank you so
get in
much.
there, get what you need, get straight to the point, and
Yeah. Thank you, Tori. And one thing that we talking about inside of NPM is productivity and tips and everything like that. So kind of shifting gears a little bit, Tori. With being an entrepreneur, being a mom, being a wife, people want to know, like, what are your daily tips? Like, how do you manage it all?
oh girl, I still work a corporate job. I work from home and
Working
all.
a job.
Yeah. So honestly, the main thing for me, and which was very hard, and I'm still working on it, is that balancing the time, really setting boundaries. Like, okay, I work when I get off of work, I'm gonna do and sometimes you do have to stay up late. Cause
Hmm.
like say for instance, for me, my husband works at night.
Hmm.
So for me, I felt I was feeling bad sometimes when I was, doing my work and my head was down so much, and I'm creating,
Yeah.
I'm, posting on social media, and I'm doing the things that, after I get off of work and my son is home from school. And then next thing you know, it's time for him to go to bed. And so I started to be like, girl,
Yeah.
you gotta carve out some time. Like if it have to be, it's when he go to bed at 9 o'clock, then
Yeah.
it's gonna have to be, because you cannot continue to have him to come home and you just head down in the computer doing what you're doing. I get
Yeah.
that it's going to be seasons, and it's not always, it's not, it's temporary until you
Yeah.
get running, but at the same time you can't neglect your child or your children at the same time while you're doing it. So
Right.
I'm currently actively working on that to make sure that
Mhm.
I stick hard with those boundaries. And some days are better than other days. I ain't even gonna lie.
Mhm. Mhm.
It's real.
Yeah.
This is motherhood, Then I have
Yeah.
duties with my husband and like house, have to keep my house, and so
Yeah.
it is hard to do that, and balance all of those things. But you have to really be dedicated to having those boundaries so that you can fulfill all the roles that you have. So what I try to do is whenever I get off of my corporate job, spend some time, go on a walk or something with my son, get him together, watch a show with him. And then when it's closer to the time for him to take a shower and then start heading to bed, then I go and I start doing what I have to do for me.
Yeah.
And so, that to me is really important to me, maybe not to some other people, but for me as a mom, that is
Mhm.
for me because I don't want him to feel like, oh, she never has time for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I could be better at it. But again,
Yeah.
I'm actively working on it. So that's for me, that's the number one.
What you do? Yeah. And
That's
then
what
and I was gonna say, and inside of MPM Girl in the productivity module, I definitely go over things that have really changed the game for me, like having a top three method and just having like a God led routine. Like it really, really can change, everything for you. Now, with that being said, what do you do for yourself as a mom to, you know what I mean? Because we gotta take care of us. We gotta
Mhm.
take care of us. What do you do?
So I I have been I have been an advocate for making sure that you always make time for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I always. I will, even if it ain't nothing but going to my bedroom and closing my door.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And my son is 10 years old, the one that's at home. He's basically an only child because my two adult children, they out on their own.
Yeah.
Um, but he's old enough where I tell him, like, I need some time. If my husband is gone to work and it's just us like it is now, I'll
Yeah.
tell I need some time. I'm gonna go in my room. I'm gonna, if I need to watch something or if I need to turn on some music and meditate, that's just the simplest form of it. But I
Yeah.
always, if my husband is home, because we don't, I ain't gonna say we stingy with my child, but we don't
Don't let him
be
go nowhere.
no.
I don't either. I look,
So
I live for a good sheltered child, okay? I love it.
so we don't get a break. Like this, now,
Right.
my daughter has moved back to the same state that we're in, and then
Mhm.
she's getting ready to leave again. But now
Mhm.
that she's back, she's like, I'm coming to get him on the 19th, so we'll have some time then. But we know we do not get time alone. So we unless he sleep or whatever. So I
Right.
always, if my husband is home, I will always tell him I need some time. I'll leave and I'll go get me some ice cream. My favorite thing to do is go to um Velvet Taco.
Period. I ain't heard of that.
Oh girl, Velvet Taco.
Velvet taco. What is that?
Girl, oh girl, it's so good. But anyway, we have one here, and I will go there and I will take my whatever device and I'll watch my favorite thing online or
Mm.
something
Mm.
and sit at the counter because they have tables, but they also have a counter. So I'll sit there and I'll eat and I'll just get lost, like,
Yeah.
uptown and I'll take a walk. So I do those things, especially like if money is tight, honey, you got to do what you got
Yeah.
to do sometimes. So yeah, getting the nail. I'm not really a big person on getting nails and stuff done because, like I said, I'm allergic to the
Acrylic.
nail filings and stuff. But those things, a bath, like simple as that.
I was gonna say that. That's mine,
Okay,
baby. A good hot,
uh,
because you don't get to do it often,
yes,
So
yes.
yeah,
I
for
go to
sure.
concerts by myself. I go like if you want to call it, I be dating myself.
Facts. I
Yeah,
go skating by myself all the time. I be jamming, baby. Be
I'm going.
jamming. Hey. No, girl, you can't say hi. You see what I mean? Kids. Okay. Thank you, baby. It's a picker. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I definitely would say for sure. I was gonna say a bath, girl. a bad, like being intentional though about it, like because I feel like I'm always rushing. Like y'all know how they say that what is it called, like where you take a everything shower. I
Mhm.
don't get them often, so you know what I mean. It be a quick little 10 minutes and I'm out. You know what I'm saying? I don't have the time. So me being intentional, y'all, to the point where my husband be making fun of me because he's like, "You getting sexy for yourself?" I said, "I sure am." I'll
Yeah.
put rose petals in there. I'll put some candles around,
Put some
around the bed.
light.
Girl, everything, everything.
Listen, have you tried this? I go in there and I have snacks in the tub. I have my drink.
A
I have
little
my,
bored.
yes, I have my iPad, and baby, I will be in there for hours. Okay.
Facts. No
Yeah.
facts. For real,
So,
for real.
you have to
Yeah.
get it in where you can fit it in sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. And y'all watching this now, y'all put down in the comments for my mama. Seriously, what do you do to take care of yourself? Because again, a lot of people thinking, oh, I ain't gonna get my hair and my nails. It don't have to be that, y'all. You don't have to spend no money.
Yeah.
It's just you being intentional and saying, you know what? I'm gonna take 10 minutes, I'm gonna take 5 minutes, and this is gonna be my time for myself. Because for a lot of us, we can easily lose our identity. I hear mama clearly all day. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So I have to remind myself, you're Sierra, you're her. You know what I mean? So it's so important to definitely do that. And I know y'all been resonating and feeling Miss Tori in this episode. So I really want you, Tori, to tell people where they can find you, tell them a little bit more about your business, how they can book. Cause I'm telling y'all need to book a session. I'm sure you're gonna be hooked after you book one session, but I'm just saying at least one. So go ahead and let us know, sis.
Okay, so where you can find me, I am on YouTube, but child, that page done been through so much
That's
transition.
okay.
So on YouTube, I think it's Holding Space, um, Holding
Mhm.
Space with Coach V. I think that's what it is. I will send the links to Sierra so it could be linked down in the description. But that is where I am on YouTube, and then I think
And you're Victoria B coaching.
Victoria be coaching on
I'll
Instagram.
link everything. I'll link everything in
Yeah,
the episode so y'all can check her out. And then your website as well.
yes. I'll have you to link that as well. But I do have a special little surprise for you guys. So,
Oh,
for anyone who wants to get services, I do have a 20% discount code. For anyone who wants to get any service that's on my website, which would be a one-on-one coaching session, or if you want to get it in a package, because there is a package on there where you get, I believe it's 6 sessions, and you get a discounted price already for that, and that could be applied. The 20% can be applied to that as well. um, as well as I'm going to actually on July 1st, I'll be launching my video series with the workbooks, as well as the support groups for motherless daughters, as well as for moms. Um,
yeah.
so the code would be holding space / MPM.
Okay.
And so
I'll be sure to put that on the screen too and on the replay.
I'll put it on the in the description box too.
Yep.
I can give you the link to that. Well,
Okay.
I can
Yeah.
give you the code, but then give you the link to my website so you can put that on.
Okay. Okay. And I'm telling y'all, as a person who I don't know the word for it, but like I just wasn't like ever thought that I needed a life coach. Again, like I shared, I didn't really believe in it, but having someone to talk to and really like I don't like the term therapist. I'm just gonna say it. It just makes me feel uneasy. So again, I'm so appreciative of Tori, and it's so crazy how God brought us together. Like this was not the plan at all, and she has really, really been helping me. So again, like I said, even just the one call, I'm telling you, you're gonna love it. You're gonna be so appreciative of it. She might make you cry, but you need it and you need to release that. Okay. But before, look, I want to read what Sherry said. Sherry said, yes, boundaries are very important. Making time for your family and business and yourself, and also the Lord with His help, we will find a way to handle it all. And we do, y'all. Us moms, we make it happen, y'all. That's the beauty in motherhood. And that's why I'm just like, I don't care what nobody say, baby.
Mhm.
We culture, mamas, y'all. We bring life into this world. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. So Tori, I love me some Jesus, girl. I love a good affirmation, everything like that. So before we actually end today's episode, I always like to go out with a prayer, say something positive, set the tone for the week. And sis got a whole affirmation book, y'all. whole affirmation. So
Okay, so the the one that I want to share with you all. Hold
I'm gonna read some more of the comments while you finding one. Sally
on.
says she likes to go on walks. Period. That's good too, and it helps my mind. I love that, Sally. I do too. Love on yourself. That's right. Period. My YouTube page has do a lot as well. Hey y'all, and that's fine. They are personal pages, y'all. It's your brand. You are the brand. And then, Sherry said, taking a bath, eat a nice meal. I cook for myself, without someone asking for it. I still have adult people still here saying, "Mom, no, for real, for real."
Mhm.
Tori made me feel better about myself. Y'all, I asked her a while ago. I was like, when they get grown, are they like, are you still parenting? And she's like, yeah, girl, I'm still a parent. So okay, cool, cool, cool. Because I've been
Absolutely.
like, what if they don't want to call me mama? Like, what if they ain't messing with me no more? But they're still big babies. So I'm excited about that.
So I want to read two of them. One, the first one is going to be it is entitled "Business."
Okay.
So, business. I am grateful for my business. My business is prosperous in every area. I will make sound decisions that will continue to propel my business to the top of every list.
Mm.
I will be good. I will be a good steward over my business and all profits received for my business. I deserve to have a strong, growing, profitable, sustainable, sought after, influential business. I am for my business.
That's good. Can you say it one more time? We like to say it twice. Say
Yeah,
it again, boy. Yeah, because that's good, especially for your y'all. Y'all hear that?
I am grateful for my business because you just want to start out and end with gratitude for
Yes.
everything, but
Hmm.
especially your business because if you want
Amen.
to be prosperous. So I am grateful for my business. My business is prosperous in every area. I will make sound decisions that will continue to propel my business to the top of every list. I will be a good steward over my business and all profits received from my business.
Mhm.
I deserve to have a strong, growing, profitable, sustainable, sought after, influential business. I am grateful for my business.
Yes. I'm gonna have to put that on the screen, girl, because that's a long one. But that's good. No, that's really, really good. I love that.
Yeah, if
Hell,
y'all
post it in the community for me, okay?
yeah, if y'all want to screenshot it,
Yeah.
you see it the right way.
No, I think it's gonna be
Oh,
backwards on their end.
okay.
Yeah, but if
So
you're inside of MPM, like I would love for you to put that in there and share that with other moms as well. Because y'all, one thing I'm telling y'all, affirmations will change your life. You have to implement affirmations. You have to speak highly about yourself, your business, your children, all of that. And everything that we do, we have to speak positive. But go ahead, Tori. I'm sorry.
I'll put it in there whenever we get off.
Okay.
Confidence is the next one that I
Okay.
want. Whatever room I grace with my presence. Okay, let me start over. Whatever room I grace my presence with, I will enter with my head held high. I am a blessing and I am a pleasure to be around. My presence ignites happiness that becomes contagious. My innovative mind is a force to be reckoned with that the world will greatly benefit from. I am sure of myself and I am confident that whatever I am compelled to do will flourish. I am valuable.
Say it again. We gotta say it twice. Y'all, it's something about saying it twice. Like I want it to
Okay.
stick. I'm over here repeating it back. So that's why I'm like, y'all ain't
Okay.
repeating. Y'all better be repeating this back. I'm serious. Like for real, it really works. It
Okay.
works. Sorry.
Confidence. Whatever room I grace with my presence, I will enter with my head held high. I am a blessing and I am a pleasure to be around. My presence ignites happiness that becomes contagious. My innovative mind is a force to be reckoned with that the world will greatly benefit from. I am sure of myself and am confident that whatever I am compelled to do will flourish. I am valuable.
Baby, no facts for real. For real. I love that. I love that. Look, please, please, please share that. And if you are a mom who wants to, again, you need help with your confidence, you want to learn mindset training, and girl, you want to start making passive income, girl. I'm telling you, MPM is going to be the program for you. And this is a community that, again, I'm just so grateful for. I'm so excited to bring more women on. Like Tori, you don't understand. Like this means the world to me. And girl, I'm gonna hook you up with some MPM merch, girl, of your choice as my first guest on here. So I got you. I got you. I got you. I can't wait to send you that. But thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for sharing your story. And just girl, we gonna talk regardless. We gonna talk. We gonna talk. But y'all, like, I'm serious. Y'all need a life coach. And Tori, I'm just saying, especially if you are a motherless daughter, it's a club that I hate that I'm a part of, but it is what it is. And I'm so grateful that Tori has created a space for, women like us to have that because as much as we want to suppress our feelings, a lot of us do that. You need to talk to somebody. You need to get help, and you'd be surprised of lifting that weight off of you and how it can change everything for you. So, with all that being said, girl, that is this episode, y'all. I don't even know what we're gonna call it, girl, because we went into so much. But thank
Yeah,
you,
girl.
thank
We
you, thank
time.
you. Y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed this episode. Like I said, the replay will be up. But Tori, do you want to take us out with a prayer, girl? I'm gonna start asking the guests to take us out with the prayer, baby. You want to can we bow our heads and just say a prayer?
Yeah,
You
absolutely.
got it? Okay, girl, take us out. Take us out.
Whew. Lord, I want to thank you for this beautiful day. Thank you for our health and our strength. Thank you for us beautiful women coming together and coming in with a purpose and with the the mind that we have that you've given us to be business women. God, continue to lead us, lead our steps, and guide us through all of these arenas because sometimes it can be very hard being that we need in order to navigate these waters of everything that we need to be. And God, especially give us what we need in order to put ourselves
Yes,
first,
Lord.
God. We don't put ourselves first after you, God. If we don't put ourselves first, then we can't be who we need to be for everybody else, God.
Mm.
In Jesus' name I pray, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Tori, girl. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, all right, y'all. I will see y'all next week on episode number 5. And if you are a mom and you want to share your journey, you want to share what you do, again, this is what MPM is for. Like I said, yes, you can learn how to create passive income and all of that, but we big on community on here. We big on supporting each other and giving each other the help and the guidance that we all need because we don't have all the answers. Not saying I do, not saying Tori do, but we're gonna help you get there. We're gonna help you facilitate to get there and give you the support that you need, regardless if you have family members, friends, or not. NPM is a community of real women, real moms, and we love each other. We love up on each other. Okay. But all right, y'all. I will see y'all on the next episode. Bye. Bye. I think I can end.